changes, and the steps changes once you enter post release, because that's when you have to worry about the sales figures and how it is going about in the market. And it's very important step when you think about your journey as an author. So I do have a few points that I've learned over time, and I'm making sure that it is taken care of from my third book onward. And yeah, and I think this stands true for everyone who wants to write book and are planning to publish and go about it. So the first thing is to market your book. You cannot you cannot live with the notion that a good book can sell itself or move its places by itself. No. uh, any kind of book, it has to be there in with the public your audiences should know about the book. Because if the audiences and the readers doesn't know about your book will be sitting idle. It won't move, and it will be just lost in the library of the entire Amazon pull, or maybe if you are into a retail store, retail chain, then it will be lost in the shelf somewhere in the back and will eat dust only. So it is very important to plan your releases. So when I wrote a book, and I finished my book, I was with the notion that there is saying in the literature world that don't judge a book by its cover. And I think it's not about only the literature world, but the overall saying that you don't need to judge a book by a cover. But the but the sad part is that you judge a book by its cover. For example, let's say you walk into a bookstore, and I show you a book, and I ask you if you could just grab the copy of such book, you know, where I'm asking you to, okay, wait, let me share my screen again, maybe. Yeah, perfect. So what if I ask you to, to buy this book, the book with this cover? So, of course, you won't buy this book because the cover looks naive. The blurb of the book is not catchy enough. In itself, the title of this book and the subtitles of title of this book is not that much visible, and the cover itself doesn't speak anything about the overall story. So how can how can I expect you to buy this book? And of course, even if I go to the bookstore, I won't even touch this book. So it's important to have a good cover, a cover which essentially tell you about the theme. This cover doesn't tell you anything that this is about, because the Lost World, that my book, because I'm eligible to talk about my book, criticize my book, and praise my book as well. And I'm aware of my own journey, so I can talk about it. So, as per the story of this book, this doesn't speak of anything regarding tribes. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't speak about the involvement of the jungle until unless you don't flip the entire book and read the blurb. The only thing that it speaks about is the weapons, and I think, to the contrary of this entire book, it is not true, and it doesn't do the justice to the story, and also the overall cover looks very unprofessional. So what if I change this and do something like this? Okay, because the front cover and the back cover have the similar theme. I would say the background, that there is smoke and the background is black. But again, the Lost World in Search of Home, the entire story is different. And if you could see the blurb, it talks about only one character. And honestly, of course, the story is about Apurva and finding the secrets and everything. The reader would, in the present timeline, the reader would follow Apurva. But the story is not only about him. It's the canvas is bigger, so I cannot just go about this book. And even if you ignore the blurb and just look at the cover, okay, it's okay, it's good. A man smoking, maybe with all the attitude, it's okay. The cover is good. uh, the title is discoverable, the author's name is discoverable, but the only problem here is that it's not the story that the book contains. It would be a mismarketing. um, it's more about one person, and the description of the person, the character of the person, the characteristics of Apura is not what this image is portraying. It's not like that. So again, even if someone picks the book and starts reading it, the reader would feel cheated because the cover had different expectations and set up different expectations, and the words punched in on that creamy paper is something different, portraying something different. So it's important to have a good cover, right? And the cover which which resembles the story. Not everything should be there, but at least it should resemble to the story and should be first marketing gimmick of your book. It should be, and it must be. So if you talk about this, uh, so even if I see this in the, even if I would have discovered this kind of book, the cover in the bookstore, I would have less likely to even pick it up because it's not that eye catching. It is not looking professional at all. It's just a naive attempt. Then I went about this cover, and you know uh, this is also the a good cover, I would say, because it is giving me the feel of the eerie feel, I would say. There are trees, there is a man walking, and there is also an effect where a bullet has been shot, and this entire thing that is cracked up is all a bullet shot. But again, as a creative mind, there was something that is missing. So that was missing because for me, publishing a book and with a good cover was important, but at the same time, it was very important to um, to think about a reader, because when I wrote a book, it was all about the readers. Even if I'm writing a mythological fiction thriller, um, still I'm writing keeping the user perspective, readers first, not the user perspective, I would say. It's just an IT thing, but a reader's perspective first. So if at any point in time, if I feel that I'm getting bored while writing the book or rereading any parts, it's evident that my readers are going to put down the book. So when I thought of this cover, it's not a bad cover, it's good cover, you know uh, but I thought, let's think about it as a from the user, no, not users, uh, as a reader's perspective. So again, I thought it's sellable. I would at any point in time, I would go and pick this cover up, the book with this cover, and would start reading. And it is not misleading as well in any shape or form, because there is jungle, there is a one central character which we will be following, and there is this bullet shot, and there are weapons used in this book. So I thought, let's send it for a review. And when I sent it, the first feedback came was that it is not giving us the feeling of a jungle. It is giving us a feeling that this man, the walking, who's walking in away from the jungle, or maybe coming towards the user. Sorry, the reader. They're not sure if that is that character is protagonist or a murderer, because the bullet shot, this bullet shot is giving them the feel that there has to be a murder. So I think again, this was a misleading information for all the readers, that they would be purchasing this book considering it as a mystery novel, or not a mystery novel. It is a mystery novel, but as a murder mystery novel, but it is not. So it was very important for me to connect with my audiences. And in order to connect the audiences, I knew that there was a central character, Apurav, with whom the most of the audiences and the present audience will connect, and my target audience will connect. So I had to keep him as a central character. This cannot be the central character of Apura, because the descriptions are very different, and this could be a negative character, but my emphasis was not on the negative character. And this character, this human character here, was not giving the sense of being a protagonist or antagonist. It was a mixed feeling, whether he can be an antagonist, he can be a protagonist, and maybe the most 80% impression came that it might be a murder mystery, but it was not. So we came up with this book cover, and this became the book's identity for almost 6 to 8 months. Now, when I talk about this book, this again follows the same pattern as that of the this book. That there are trees that represents jungle, maybe, and a person who is either coming towards the reader or walking inside the jungle. So when I came up, when we came across this cover, we were like, okay, this is actually giving me the sense of relativeness, because this entire scene is 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 actually there in the book. There is a brief description and discussion about when Apura goes on finding the path out. So they're exactly something that you know. Caught my eye, and it's very apt with the kind of story that in the Lost World is. And of course, there is enough space to be incorporated for the reviews of media. A good big enough a title, and just a one line description of what it is, all the accolades that this is what about me, India Prime Best Researcher and Author. There is also a Easter egg for all the readers, that there is a bonus chapter from its sequel. So it became the cover of the book, and and the book sold well. It entered the top 100 bestsellers list. But again, this is for them who actually read the book and understood, okay, there is a sequence, something like that. But what exactly is the character is doing, you know um, and it is kind of it's a good cover, but the creative mind and the readers would expect something better and bigger. And because when I went about witnessing the statistics of my book, it was selling, but it was selling very slowly. It was not as monumental as it should have been. Of course, you cannot expect a first time author to be to reach the monumental success until unless you have written something fantastic as Amish Tripathi has done. But again, I wanted the story had a potential. Whoever had bought the book, and they praised the book. I was standing at the 25. The book stood at 25 positive reviews, and all 4 star, 5 star, everything. But again, it was not moving as fast as I wished to. So we again hit the the board, the drawing room, and again thought about it, what it should be. And this happened after I finished its sequel, because the first book was not selling too much. or not exponentially growing, there were less chances that the sequel would do good. So in order to make my sequel good, or make this entire series a sellable product, I had to ensure that my first book sells. And let me tell you, the length of the book is good. It's almost 250 pages odd. It sets up brilliantly for the second book as well, and leaves a lot of unanswered questions. It it's it's kind of first half of the movie, the Lost World, and the second half of the movie is the Lost World Rises. It's not that kind of feel. So I had to do something different to catch the eye of the readers, and so that you know people should turn to look at this book. If someone has seen this book on this shelf, that they would come up and say, okay, what kind of book is this? I just want to read that straight away. So I came up with this. I hope this is visible. So I came up with this cover, and then when you start reading it, you know, let me tell you why this cover. Because the Lost World is all about the central character Apura finding the secrets, the mystery, trying to figure out the answers to his questions that has piled up. And the first time the readers gets to know about Apura is in this state, that he had a backpack, and the backpack had a gun. So I thought this is the best representation of Apura, because the Lost World is all about Apura finding the answers, and in order to find those answers, the readers and the Apura also gets to explore the world. But before exploring the world, the readers and Apura find themselves in this condition, the exact same condition that this character is right now. So I thought about it, I gave it a thought, and discussed it with my publisher, the Aksharansh publication. We discussed it at length, almost a week, that what exactly needs to be done, and we finalized this cover. And as soon as we finalized on this cover, I pitched this cover to my publisher. Now this is the again the central character. Now this is the just a mock, in the actual book. This character is somewhere at the center, and the entire background remains the same. So I think this commanded the lines, because it sets the pitch. Because in this first book, the central character is Apura, and there is nothing in the background that could establish that there is a a huge jungle or destruction is going on. No, it gives us the feeling that he is in the land where nothing is there, and he do possess a weapon and a backpack. We don't know what's inside the backpack. That you would know after that you will get to know after you turn the pages. But when it comes to the sequel, you know that Apurav is watching something that is happening. And from this cover, I wanted to show that there is this forest, and there is this the modern society coexisting with each other, but it cannot coexist with each other, and there has to be some conflicts. This is not giving up anything about the story, but also in a way attracting a lot of readers and attracting a lot of eyes as well. Of course, I'm the author of this book, so I would praise my book a lot of times. In any situation, I'll defend any kind of cover. But these things are coming from the readers. When they have read the first book with the previous cover, and when they saw this cover and then the sequel, uh, they messaged me. They someone mailed me, someone messaged me over WhatsApp, and someone messaged me on Instagram and Facebook, that these are the best covers, and it goes well with the story. It doesn't reveal anything, and yeah, it provided a much needed boost as well. So I talked about uh, the cover of the book. Now let's talk about something different. it's okay that you have the cover of the book ready, but you cannot just say that a good cover will ensure you good sales. Yeah, right. So you had to go about marketing. So you have to in order to market your book, you have to announce that your book is coming, and the best way to do it is to create a visual teaser or trailer. So I did the same. So I cannot just I cannot show you the teasers here, but you can go to YouTube and search my name, and you'll get the teasers. Though those didn't attracted a lot of conversions, but the essence was that I am announcing that there is a book and it will be there. Uh, Slowly, the teasers and trailer grew. You know, 500 or 300-400 odd views on the YouTube, and on the Instagram, the same teasers grew as well. It attracted the audiences, and as a result, I decided that let's put an advertisement on Instagram as well, because a lot of people use Instagram, and for me the use case in the study is myself, because I use a lot of Instagram nowadays, and I'm finding a lot of books from Instagram, and I went ahead and uh, bought some of the books from after I discovered them on Instagram, and I loved it. So I thought let's invest in Instagram, on Instagram's Instagram ad, and let's see what it does for me. So it attracted a lot of engagement on my post, and at the same time, after a week or so, the ad was there. The sales started to reappear again and again and again, and within few days I was almost at the number one bestsellers, just behind Chetan Bhagat's 400 days and Alex McLendis's A Silent Patient, and then stood The Lost World. The same happened to Lost World Rises as well. It grew, and it grew till number one on the latest new releases, and it stood there for a week. And you know, uh, soon I started to witness the international sales. From US, from UK, from Australia, from Romania, from Germany. The book was traveling, and I think it is very important to give as much emphasis on your in your cover as much you give it to your written material as well, because if you don't create the first impression right, your book is not going to sell until unless there is a you know uh, there is a storm of positive words, right? And also you can approach the bloggers, of course, if you know them. Approach them. If you know any news portal, send your copy, but first ask them if they are willing to if they are willing to uh, review it. Currently The Lost World stands at 105 reviews on 105 reviews on Amazon, and The Lost World Rises stands at 60 reviews on Amazon. And there are, when I see it in Goodreads, I could see 5 to 10 people are still adding that book. Every day the book is getting added to someone's wish list. So it is moving swiftly, and of course, when it moves, when the review starts pouring in, and if all of them are positive reviews, most of them are positive reviews, because there are 50, 60% of reviews are 4-star reviews, and the rest are 5-star reviews, and I think 3 to 5% are in 3-star reviews. So it is moving, and as a result, I was approached by you know uh, a company, and that company is book to screen adaptation company. And I think that was the most fun part, that when I was approached, that they said that they are interested in pitching my book, my story, to the producers, to be adapted as as either as a web series or a full-fledged motion picture movie. So so because I invested in marketing, I gave a lot of thought. I stopped myself and gave a lot of thought over the cover and everything. It worked, and the book is not, staying calm. It is moving, even it is crossing the boundaries. So I think it's very important to put your much needed analysis. Of course, it's your book. You would like it to move, but you cannot deny the fact that it's a product, and any product that you wish people to spend money on needs to be presentable and needs to be sellable. Of course, the first thing that readers or even you would see is the cover of the book. If the cover of the book is very naive, not so professional, not eye catching, and doesn't convey the essence of the story, you will end up dropping that book. So it's very important that you put your effort into designing a cover, right? And that cover should be good. You should consider that what if this was not your book and it was published by someone else or written by someone else, would you end up buying the book just based on the cover? Then the second is the blurb of the book. It should be catchy enough. It should not give away everything about the story. It should not give away the essential elements or core elements of the story. And in generic we say you should not give a spoiler, right? So you should write a catchy blurb, but also at the same time it should not be you know uh, giving the spoilers. It should be somewhere in the middle to generate the curiosity among the readers that they should be going ahead, way ahead, and picking up your book. At least make it visible, and the book will move. Until unless you don't make your book visible, your book won't sell. It would just be selling max to max five to 10 copies and those copies will be bought by your family members, your friends, your close circles friend, not even your distant friend. You consider them to be a close friend. It would be very very close friends, or maybe you end up buying 5 copies of your own book, and then the book is just stop. So it's very so it's very important that you uh, you know give that emphasis on all those things. And sorry guys. Yeah, so it was my learnings about the book. Everyone would have their different journey, different learnings. It depends on the genre of the book, it depends on the approach, and also the sales of the overall sales of the books as well. So this is all I had to say, okay, about my writing lessons. I am writing another book, and this time it would be a trilogy, and it's a huge project. So whatever learnings that I'll be having and whatever research that I'm doing, it is definitely going to help a lot of people in order to pursue this writing as a career. So I think once I have enough experiences, more lessons to share about, or more insights to share about, I'll definitely share it. Okay, and I think the the comment box is buzzing. Okay, so let's take the questions. Janki, Akshay, Vivan, Sneha. This is hi. Okay, it's too late to say hi now. Uh, but thank you for joining. I don't know what's the name. Al is asking, did you get the reviews prior to publishing the book? And how did you add to cover? Okay, so I didn't get the reviews prior to publishing. I published the book without those reviews. In the international markets, the book is with the same cover without reviews. And when I approached them, they said okay, then they will be reviewing it for me. So I waited for almost 3 to 4 weeks, I would say, because it takes that much of time to them to go about it. And once they published it on the Pulpal News Hub is my is my friend's news portal. So I sent him the copy, and he reviewed it for me. And then when he published it, I mentioned that in on my book. Uh, then there is this reminder journal where again I sent a book, a copy as well. I think they bought the copy, and I asked them that if they would be interested in reviewing to me. So they said that, okay, they'll do it. And once they published it on their portal, I added it in my book. So it took a time. It took almost a month. It took me almost a month to add those reviews in the book. So it nothing happened prior to publishing. It's of course, yes, the proofreading happened prior to publishing, but none of them posted a review because it would be very uh, inappropriate for the readers to read the reviews whose name are already there mentioned in the author's note. So that's why they didn't post any reviews. Um Aishit, I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. Aishit is asking how to approach publishers. Okay, okay. This is the most asked question by aspiring writers. I also had the same question, that how should I approach the publisher? And it depends on you. What route you want to take. Either you go about traditional publishing, or if you don't have enough patience, you go with the self-publishing. Initially I didn't had patience to wait for 3-4 months or something, and didn't had enough courage to face the rejection, to be honest. So I went ahead and published it with a self-publishing uh, organization, and I didn't pay anything because they offer packages, but I chose the package without any money, where I had to do everything. After I published it, and it was there in the market for 6 months, and it moved very slowly, I approached Aksharansh publication, the partner of Kharido Becho books. So we cracked the deal, and then we went ahead and published it in partnership. So it depends on you. If you want to approach the traditional publishers, I think every publisher will have their different criterias to pitch your manuscript. uh, you usually have to send three sample chapters where you feel that your writing is the best and it will represent your story the best. And some publishers also ask you to share what would be your marketing plan, and what would you do to to ensure that your book is visible. So they would ask you that as well, and they usually take 6 months. So it's very ideal time. 6 months is very ideal time, but some of the publishers would take even a year to respond. So you have to have that that much of um, that much of patience to hear back from them. And if you are going about self-publishing, so the self-publishing companies doesn't care about your content. They just want you to either buy a service and just publish your book, uh, or you choose their DIY platform and do it by yourself, and then then you can publish it. Janaki said, "How did you decide how much to price the book?" So this is very interesting question, and it will also answer Ashit as well. That it depends on the publishers a lot of times, that what uh, price you should keep. You know, so I'll tell you one thing, that the self-publishers would self-publishing organizations or companies would just charge a very huge amount for a book, because they have to cover their printing cost, they have to cover their you know um, the listing cost as well, and then the shipping cost and everything, and they want the profit, right? At any cost. That doesn't care about your book, that doesn't care about your selling as well. There are few self-publishing companies which care a lot about your book, and they would put in they would put extra efforts for that. But it's very difficult to find such you know uh, publishers. So usually what happens in self-publishing is that your book will be charged will be priced as per your number of pages. If your book is having 300 pages, so the minimum cost that they would ask you to put is around maybe 280 to 90. So that becomes very difficult for first time authors to pitch the book, and it becomes very difficult to find the long book as well in the self publishing industries. But when it comes to traditional publishing or even in the partnership publishing, uh, the cost of the book that has been printed is very less, because the publisher prints it in the bulk, and the overall investment on that book drops like heavily. It drops heavily. So you get the reasonable price with no profit, no loss, and then after that it's the collaboration between you and the publisher, that how much you want the profit and the royalty from that book onwards. Because of course after after every costs and everything, it has to be uh, profitable for both. You cannot just go in the losses, making the publishing organization suffer. So it's important to research as well about the genre and the other books available in your genre, and then price your book with the help of your publisher and your expectations as well. I think that is very important. Vivan is asking any tips on blog writing. Yes, I do have a blog, and it is growing pretty well. So for writing a blog, I think it's very important that you need to restrict your writing to certain number of words. You cannot expect the readers to read a long lasting blogs. Write it short, concise, and keep your blog buzzing. Maybe you have great information to write about, maybe anything. Let's talk about my blog. For instance, I used to run the technical blog, and in every week or maybe every 2 days I used to post a small article on any technology, any new implementation. So if, for example, if you want to write about the books or the community or the connection between people, you have to touch the new points each and every day, or maybe each and every week. So you have to keep your blog buzzing. You have to follow others as well, in order to grow your network. Promote others in your on your blog so that they can repost it and you become visible as well. So yeah, it's same as that of writing a book. I would say it takes a lot of time, research as well, in order to write even a smallest piece of the piece of article. It all depends on what kind of information that you want to write. And also you can write the fictional stories and short stories blog as well. One of my friend writes it. He's in London right now, so he writes it, and his blog is fun. So uh, it's not no hard and fast rule in literature that you have to follow the similar pattern. It's all about not pushing the boundaries, and blog lands in the same category. Yeah. At least I think in that way. I can be completely wrong. um, yeah, I think that's it for the questions, and I think that's it. It's getting dark as well, so uh, thank you for joining, and please stay safe. Wear your mask. If you are not vaccinated, do vaccinate and stay home, because Omicron is still there. We have to fight it together. And of course, read as much as you can. Write whatever you want to write, and before publishing, just give it a read again critically. Wearing the critical and editor's hat, you will be off to a great start, and your books will be doing wonders. Thank you so much for joining this live. I'll see you around again. Thank you. Okay, there's one more question. Will we be seeing more of you on YouTube? Uh, I don't plan to, Sneha, but you never know what But let's see. I'm planning to start a so this kind of talks on my podcast, but certainly not on YouTube. So whatever will happen, I'll let you know. And every update you could get from my Instagram handle. So yeah, that's it from mine. uh, Thank you so much for joining, guys, and enjoy your life and stay safe. Thank you.